How's it going, guys, and welcome to today's prediction video. For this one, we have a big clash taking place on the 17th of February. That is this week Saturday in the English Premier League, as Manchester City host Chelsea at the Etihad. Now, the last time the Citizens and the Blues did battle was on the 12th of November last year. The two sides served up what can only be defined as a massive goal fest. Manchester City opening the scoring in the 25th minute from the penalty spot via Erling Haaland, before in the 29th minute Thiago Silva equalized for Chelsea from a corner. Then, in the 37th minute, the match was turned on its head when Raheem Sterling found himself on the end of a tap-in to make it 2-1 to Chelsea. Before, in the first minute of injury time, Akanji with a free header finding the equalizer for Manchester City just before the halftime break. Just after the halftime break, City found their third goal and Erling Haaland's second in the 47th minute when he was played in via a cutback from Julian Alvarez. But Chelsea were not done yet and found yet another equalizer after Ederson blocked a shot and Jackson found himself on the end of it in the 67th minute. City actually thought they found their winner in the 86th minute when Rodri with a long drive that is deflected past the keeper. But once again, Chelsea showing admirable resilience, and in the 5th minute of injury time, Cole Palmer, another former Manchester City player, getting the equalizer for the Blues from the penalty spot. The match ending 4-4 at Stamford Bridge, with both sides, I would say, deserving of a win, but having to share the points at Stamford Bridge. We start off our team analysis with Manchester City. The last 5 matches for the Citizens have ended in 5 wins. That last one being a 3-1 win at Copenhagen in the UEFA Champions League, putting the Citizens in a very strong position to get into the quarterfinals of Europe's top-tier competition. Firstly, we have to talk about Erling Haaland here, with 21 goals and 6 assists. Haaland is often criticized as being a tap-in merchant, or the kind of player who doesn't really contribute much to City throughout the match except goals. But that's all they actually want of him. You can see that's exactly why Guardiola got Erling Haaland to transfer to Manchester City. He actually got 2 goals against Everton in their last Premier League match. So the goals are coming for Erling Haaland once again. Big part of this, I think, is due to the recovery of this man, Kevin De Bruyne, with 2 goals and 7 assists. We all know that Haaland operates best when De Bruyne is on the pitch with him, but De Bruyne in his own right has done fantastically well as well. He actually scored in the match against Copenhagen midweek in the Champions League, but it's these assists that De Bruyne gets. It's the ability to control the game, to just sort of be the music that Manchester City dance to. Kevin De Bruyne, just a sublime player. And finally, I want to talk Phil Foden, who actually got the last goal against Copenhagen. With 15 goals and 10 assists, I think Phil Foden, there was a bit of a concern against Copenhagen when it looked like he may have picked up a knock, but he was able to walk it off and continue playing, and that's how he got that goal. What I like about Phil Foden is he's got this natural ability to dribble, to create, but to find finishes as well. Just so much creative magic that can be deployed anywhere in that attacking third from Phil Foden. Next up, we move on to Chelsea. The last 5 matches for the Blues have ended in 2 wins, 2 losses, and a single draw. So you can see it's a mixed bag of results. Thankfully, their last match also was a 3-1 win away at Crystal Palace in the Premier League. So there's a bit of a glimmer of hope for Chelsea for next season, I would say. First player we got to talk about is Cole Palmer with 12 goals and 9 assists. Cole Palmer's been deployed in a variety of positions by Mauricio Pochettino, but the best part is he's managed to flourish regardless of where he's played. He's managed to get goals and assists, contributing in many ways, whether it's build-up defensive duties, just putting pressure on the opposition. A fantastic young talent. Next up, I want to talk Conor Gallagher with 3 goals and 6 assists. Gallagher was very quiet initially for large periods of the season, but he managed to get 2 of those goals against Crystal Palace. Gallagher seems to be finding his feet again. A young player with so much talent. I think Chelsea will be fighting to keep him at Stamford Bridge, but I think he just needs to be doing just a little bit more. But I think Chelsea as well need to show him how much they value him. Give him more game time, give him more opportunities to do things, and just watch Conor Gallagher shine. And finally, I want to talk Enzo Fernandez with 7 goals and surprisingly no assists. Enzo Fernandez, I would have expected to be deployed more as a holding midfielder or a defensive midfielder, the kind of player to break down opposition attacks. But he's found himself amongst the goals more often than not. I don't think that's something that Chelsea fans will be too upset about, because it's proven that Enzo can score a variety of goals, but he can give you so much more if he's feeling on form and confident. If he's not, I think the whole of Chelsea just falls apart. But that emphasizes just what an important player Enzo Fernandez is for this Chelsea squad. Next up, we look at the head-to-head and the S3M2 Verdict. The last 5 matches between these two sides have ended in 4 wins for Manchester City and a single draw, which means this does not bode well for Chelsea in any way. City are flying high right now, just winning away from home, at home, it doesn't matter. So they come into this one as overwhelming favourites. Personally, I think City will win this one. So obviously, Jack Grealish having picked up a knock against Copenhagen. I think Kovacic also might be a bit of a doubt, so I think City are a little jaded in terms of their injuries, but I also think they have enough squad depth and individual talent to find suitable replacements for these players amongst their ranks. When you look at Kovacic, actually Foden and De Bruyne can play in that position. When you look at Grealish, they've got Doku and Alvarez who can both play in that position. Regardless, Guardiola has this knack of changing his formation, tweaking it, the master tactician that he is, to sort of to compensate and cover his weaknesses, but still emphasize the strengths that he has access to. When you look at Pochettino, I think he's still figuring things out at Chelsea, but what I have noticed is he's placed a major emphasis on young players. Players like Conor Gallagher, guys like Cole Palmer, Enzo Fernandez. I think perhaps more veteran players like Raheem Sterling are slowly starting to take a back seat, while guys like Mykhailo Mudryk as well are being just pushed, given the opportunity to play, which is exactly what Pochettino did at Spurs. I think Chelsea can also hold their heads up high, knowing that next week they'll be facing Liverpool in the EFL or Carabao Cup final. This is very important for them, I think. I think Chelsea need to be competing. I think Chelsea actually deserve to be a Champions League team, but based on the squad they have right now and their performances, they're not going to get anywhere near those top 4 spots. So I think competing for this trophy is fine, and I think competing maybe for Europa League spots for next season is fine. But it's going to be difficult. Manchester City find themselves second with 52 points, while Chelsea are lounging in 10th. That is so far off those European spots with 34 points. City is still competing against Liverpool and Arsenal for the league. We have to remember that despite the fact that City have 52 and Liverpool have 54, City do have a game in hand. Chances are they're going to win that game. So I think City are in a very strong position here, competing still in the FA Cup, for the Premier League, for the Champions League. Fatigue might play a role though. Having played in this match midweek in the Champions League, maybe players will be tired, but I think again that comes down to us saying that City have enough squad depth to compete. I think both sides concede. Once again, I'm going to reiterate that I think City win this one. Both sides concede, I think. I think Chelsea concede more, probably 1 or 2 more. I think if Chelsea do play on the counter-attack, they're still a very good counter-attacking team. If they sit back and defend in numbers and transition quickly, they can catch this Manchester City team. But I think in terms of individual talent, in terms of tactics, in terms of recent form, in terms of psychology and mentality coming into this match, I think City have Chelsea beat on all of those fronts. Chelsea just sort of stuttering as they come into this match, losses, draws, and then wins. I think City are going to look to take advantage of this, and I think they actually will. So my result prediction for this one will be 3-1 to Manchester City. Hi, thank you for making it to the end of this video. We really appreciate the watch time. And the fact that you took some time out of your day to spend it with us talking about the sport that we all love. If you enjoyed the content, why not, drop a like down below or comment in the comment section. Maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. And I mean, while you are here right now, have a look at some of our old videos too. They should be appearing on the screen right now, along with that subscribe button. So you know exactly what to do. Um, Thank you so much. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And have a great day out there. And we hope to see you again very, very soon. Thanks. Stay safe.